we've probably been on the connected TV journey since 2018. We started this journey, so it almost feels like we were such an early entryway that there's a lot of others playing catch up right now, which is exciting and both bad at the same time because you've got a lot of challenges now. You've got content everywhere. And I think as we think about our media mix, it's not about just calling it linear versus streaming. It's truly just the screen. And our media mix is very heavily visible. Candy can be sold in 6 seconds, so making it appealing and being across every major screen is of the utmost importance of us. I think also as we think about our business and the portfolio of our brands, really just focusing on what is the right contextual environments to be in, and really honing in on the content that's being developed in the marketplace by all of the major publishers. That to us is probably the most important thing in the next few years coming, not only just what is convergent TV, how do you measure everything? It's really, at the end of the day, the content is the most important part because it is the consumer experience on the other side.
The content meaning your spots or the content that your spots are associated with?
The spots, the content we're buying. I think there's an evolution of content integrations happening again. So you're seeing brands play a bigger role in how they work with different creators, different shows, movies, and just really trying to stand out across the content owners at the end of the day.
So let's talk about outcome-based measurement, and it's gaining traction in the industry. How do you ensure your media buys are meaningful business outcomes and driving sales, building brand equity? How do you measure performance, and what might you need or the industry might need that's not there now?
Yeah, I think this is obviously the most heated discussion and passion point for most marketers right now. I think something we focus on a lot is really the balance of sales overnight and brand over time. How do you think of those two things together? Because you do need to deliver the today, but you also have to think about your brand building over the future. And for us, there isn't a lot of end games for us that we can measure directly to. So all of our products are bought and sold in an actual retail location. They're not directly sold through us, which makes it a little bit more challenging as we think about what is our outcome? How do we think about conversions and what do we tie that to? So you've seen the explosion of retail media. For us, that's an opportunity to lean in and say, okay, if I'm buying certain impressions, how did it convert? What role did it play with a Walmart, a Target, a Kroger, et cetera? As we think about long-term, how we really ground ourselves is through our media mix model. That takes everything into account: pricing, distribution, base velocity, and media. So when you bring everything together, you can ground yourselves in your brand equity building over time. It gives us an ROI over the time period. That area is getting faster and more accelerant in quicker reads. So typically it takes 3+ months to get a read. Now we're seeing monthly reads in a lot of areas. So we're trying to bring all these things together to create really what's the best KPI to go after and how you measure in a more real-time capacity for a brand that is impulsively purchased always.
Vinny, tell us what's exciting to you from a technology. We hear a lot about search. Things are happening. Search has changed. There's a lot about commerce, of course, that you just touched on. What are interesting areas in terms of tools that you can use or that you hope to use?
Yeah, I think the acceleration of creative technology is going to be, to me, one of the most important next steps in our industry. It is going to help us not only understand what's happening from a creative lens, it's going to help us get creative faster. It's going to help us iterate to consumers in real time. And I think we're honestly at the table, really at the ground level of where creative technology will start to go. What I mean by that is you've got content at scale. You've got AI generated content. You've got systems to bring, the speed of content to market faster. That is going to change a lot of the history of year-long creative development campaigns into much faster iterations. And then to your point, as you think about what does content mean to search, I think you're going to see this really big push away from keywords as the target lens of search, and you're going to move into really rich content that delivers the search experience. What I mean by that is if you think about anything you can do in OpenAI or Perplexity or others, as you search for something, it's not about the keywords. You're telling it what you're thinking about or what you're looking to do. The richness of content, whether it's on a retail.com website or whether it's on your own website, the richness of content is what's going to accelerate you into the first person view to that consumer as they're going through that. So I would look at content and creative ecosystems as probably the next evolution that we're going to all lean into faster than we have in the years past.